Hello, traders. I'm a little late starting the stream, but we went down. Let's kill that one because that was. We went down and took out this fair value gap that I had marked out on the 4-hour chart, and the breaker was here. I entered a little lower because I was running off of a 30-second breaker, but we came down, we made a higher low, and now we validated the 1-minute breaker, and we're pushing higher. I'm hoping we take all-time highs. That would be really nice. But if we could just get back to settlement, settlement is at 23,058.50. That would be okay too. This is the low pre-market. I'm going to change that. Let's do a 30-minute. I should probably preserve some of this profit. I don't know. I took a long here and got smoked. And so then I got back in on this one. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. I liked that we took out this one. I was nervous yesterday about the taking a long. We had a pretty nice little deal, but we'd left this, and I was thinking we were going to hit it, so I didn't take that long yesterday. But it was wicking into the breaker very beautifully. I was just nervous about this level, and so I'm glad to see it get taken today. And I hope we do continue on up. Um, let's get over here to the 30-minute chart right here. Okay, so that's it. So we're just now getting back into the opening range high. Opening range low, rather. Opening range right here is the high, and the low of the opening range is here. We wicked into this fair value gap. Now, the rule is if we can get a 15-minute candle closing back inside of the opening range, then it's highly probable we need another minute. After we've left it, if we come back into it, it's highly probable that we go all the way through it. And so that would get us really close to the all-time highs. That's what I would like to see happen. That's where I have my take profit, way up there. It may not happen, but this is my system 150,000%, and I'm going to trade it just like I have a crystal ball and I know what's about to happen. So far, it's looking like a pretty decent trade. I was checking my audio. It looks like it's pretty all right. I still haven't gotten the external mic for my computer, so I've got it facing me. I'm facing it. Well, hopefully y'all can hear me okay. If you didn't get into this trade down here where I got into it, this is the 1-minute breaker. And so we've made our higher low. This would be the fair value gap above the breaker. There's one forming right here as well. So getting in this area in the 60s, for a push higher, um, possibly be a good thing, or taking one off of the breaker. I'm tempted to book this profit and then maybe get back in at the breaker, but I don't know. We haven't. And we took this high, and we could offer lower. It's possible, but this is the fair value gap right here that I think the algorithm would refer to. And we just wicked into the halfway point of it. I mean, if a person was going to add, that would be a great place to add to. I might add one more. I would rather it pull back a bit, but anytime I add, I screw myself. So I'm nervous about adding. But that's very algorithmic, really nice pullback to that fair value gap, and then a push back higher. So I don't think adding would be a bad thing here necessarily. But I just know my history. When I add, I get nervous. And if I add one more, it would just I would prefer to take profit at settlement instead of all-time high. And that's the only reason I would want to add so I can make more money quicker. But I think we're good on this trade. I really do. It's good to see the market getting back to normal. Rollover week, and then the week after, and then we had that short week for July 4th, non-farm payroll on a dadgum Thursday, half day. It just messed everything up. But we are getting back to normal. And the all-time high kind of messed with my mind because I didn't want to take shorts, and we had some fantastic short signals that I just let go by. But yeah, this trade is looking sweet. I'll get over here so I can focus on the process. Let me change this to points because the average that I looked at on this reversal was 90 points. So, and that was after the breaker validated. So it would be from right here, from 955, 90 points from there. Oh, I've got it on percentage. Let's change that to points. There we go. So I've got up here at 185 points. That's a long way. That's well above the average. But if we put it at settlement price right there, that's still well above the average. I'm going to try for a full pull. I'm going to try for at least this. And I think if we get there, all-time high could fall. So I'm going to try for it. Worst case scenario, I'll trail my stop. And, we'll just have to see how it all works out. I don't like that we're not pushing through this level here. But the setup, I mean, I want it to move faster because I'm impatient. But the setup's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So even if you haven't gotten in yet, putting on a couple of micros with a $100 stop loss, I think you'd be good. Could we revisit the breaker at this point? Absolutely. Could we push all the way to the bottom of it? I would not want to see that happen. In fact, I think we could pull back to that. I'm wondering where our first presentation fair value gap is. There's the open, so it's immediately after. It's right here. And how does it correspond with settlement? I'm putting it on the wrong one. I need to be putting it over here. Oh, it's right at settlement. So yeah, I like it. I like this setup really well. So first prez is right here. We may not get above settlement. We open with a little bit of a gap up. I locked my computer so I wouldn't take any trades. We took that 4 hour and actually put up a really nice reversal signal. Um, Pre-market we did, and then we took it out at the open. But right here we put up a real nice reversal signal, and we came and took out pre-market low, and then trickled back up to pre-market high. That's all nice algorithmic movement. So my confidence in the market doing what it's supposed to do is growing. These can go away. We already took those out. Those are my marks. I'm like, if we need to take a 4 hour low, a major level would be that, and then we need to see a reversal pattern after taking one of those 4 hour lows. Those are the higher probability trades. If we're taking just a intraday low like that, pre-market high, pre-market low, stuff like that, and there's no 4 hour high or low involved with it, then I mean, technically we took a 4 hour high here and then we took it in the market and then fell out of bed all the way to a 4 hour low. So this would have been a good trade to the downside. It's just I don't like to trade in the first 30 minutes, but that would have been an excellent trade to the downside. And then we came down, we took out two 4 hour lows. So that gives us and we took out the fair value gap. So that gives us the confidence that we've taken out some major time frame levels lower, and now we can look for a reversal pattern. So will we go and take out the all-time high or the next 4 hour high? I mean, this one right here is definitely a good target, and then that's the next one. So will we get up there? I don't know, but I am definitely going to try for it, even if I have to hold this till MOC. Fingers crossed. I need a good day. I've had some bad days. Yesterday, oh man, yesterday I went out the night before, and I haven't been out in a good while. I've been really focusing on getting a good night's sleep and trading well and all this. And I got up and took a trade in the first 2 minutes of the open, sold short, and that sucker started running up. I'd only had three micros on, and it ran up and took the all-time high, and I did not kill the trade until it got to it was almost to the all-time high, and I was like, okay, we're taking this. So I killed the trade, and I was down $1,000 on three micros. Oh my gosh, it was awful. But since we were there and I was in such a good mental state, I said, well, I guess we're going to continue on higher. And I reversed my position. And we fell out of bed. I lost another $500. So that's the way my day started. Market hadn't even been open 15 minutes and I'm down $1,500. But I was able to capture most of it back. Yesterday was definitely a recovery day. One thing about this whole position that I'm worried about and that this is the setup that I look for sure. But one thing that I am concerned about is I've made a deal with myself, like a trade like this, for example. I'm going to let it run as far as it'll run, and then that's it. But I get into trades like this every day and I make profit on them. Usually I've got something like this going on, so I'm trying to make that up plus make my profit for the day. But instead of getting involved in the trade, it goes up a little ways, getting out, trying to get back in. I'm going to try to hold it, let it do as much, let it make me as much money as possibly can, and then kill it. And I don't trade again until we take out another 4 hour level or daily level. I think this one is actually multi-time frame, so we should be good on it. Let's take a peek on that. That's not a multi-time frame, but it did wick into the a new day opening gap there also. I'm not in love with this pullback here. Not in love with it. I think I am going to try to get a better entry here. I'm going to go ahead and take that profit and try to get back in. You know, the only reason I would want to take profit here is because I'm down on the day already. Otherwise, I would just hold this position. Excuse me. Still got that cough. We could definitely come back down to the breaker. I'm going to preserve my profit here, and I'm going to put in another order to go long at the breaker. I'm gonna hope for a touch at the breaker right there. I went to the fair value gap. This isn't a bad thing. This pullback is good. It's actually healthy. Now, we did go directly to the top, one tick above that candle's bottom. So I might go ahead and just re-enter here. Come on. All right. Now, that's only $100 stop loss here on 5. That's pretty slim stop loss. If we don't immediately reverse here, I might just go ahead and take it off. Because we touched right there, I would like to see it zoom right back up to where we came from. Leave town for me. All right, good. Yeah, come on. And if I get out here and try to get back in somewhere else, I mean, where am I going to get in else? I could get in where my stop is. I think I'm just going to put my stop below the candle that created the fair value gap here. That'll leave it. That's about $150 stop loss. Not ideal, but I mean, that's not a bad stop loss for 5 micros. I usually put 250, so it's not bad. But I would like to see this thing just, since we touched here, just absolutely rip higher. The time of day for this pullback is 10:50 macro, and that's normal for it to pull back at that point. Now that we've hit 10 o'clock, we should see the expansion to the upside. But the market won't just go, most of the time, it doesn't go in a straight line unless it's a liquidity run like we did at the open. But coming down, unseating all of those people that are having trailing their stop loss, or they've just gotten in there wanting to get them out of the market so then we can move to a higher position. That's the way ICT explains it anyway. They want to unseat those weaker handed traders, take over their position so they can make money on the way up, and also take them out, so they're not making money. I'm a firm believer that all of the big banks are just trying to take our little guys' money. And that's why this market does the algorithmic movement it does. And with the news bombs nowadays, they can take our money quick. So you always got to be careful. I don't see any major news stories that would have caused that pullback. Oh, beautiful. We came back right to that fair value gap right here. This is actually should be a blue color. I really like the way that ticked. I'm supposed to be looking at it over here on the NQ, but let's see how it performed. So our breaker was actually here on NQ. Earlier NQ was, the chart wasn't working. And so the fair value gap that was created just above the breaker is right here. And I believe it has a volume imbalance involved as well. So yeah, it wicked a little bit. You can see on MNQ, it wicked lower than that one. And then this one came down in it. So yeah, I'm liking this position. I am liking it. I think we got some teeth. I think we could go at least to settlement. They just don't make reversal patterns any prettier than that. Now you could look at this and say, well, this is a reversal pattern. We haven't taken any major time frame highs or lows. That's why this one, I just completely discredited. But there's a high. Here's the breaker. We did validate it with a fair value gap. So it could be that we offered lower. Very well could be. But because that's why I started integrating the whole 4-hour time frame deal to look for my reversal patterns. Because when these fail, it's usually when they're just doing an intraday liquidity run. See how it pulled it when it took that out? So it's just an intraday liquidity run. But the breaker is still valid. It's just not going to be a complete reversal like what we're looking for here. Let's see, this one you would have entered somewhere around here, so this one would have filled you, and you wouldn't have gotten any points. And I bet you we make a new high here. We may not, but I'm fairly confident we're going to, because we're working off of a breaker from a higher time frame. Come on, burrito. Making us sweat a little bit, isn't it? Something I mentioned the other day on the live stream, and I think when I edited it, I ended up cutting it out. But I've taught school for many years, and you go into school as soon as you walk on campus, you're on duty because there is no off duty when there's kids involved. So you go in, you got to be ready to work as soon as you step first foot on campus, and then I'd be there for 9, 10 hours, and you know most days were pretty good days, but testing days they were so boring. I mean, you sit there all day long, you can't really interact with anybody. You're just sitting there monitoring, and you know, I was feeling like even right now I'm feeling, oh my gosh, this price won't want it. Why won't it go? This is so boring. And there's a lot of people that are sitting in a job and they're going to be there 8 to 10 hours a day, and whether it's boring or not, they have no choice to get up and leave or go home or whatever. They just have to endure the boring. And so for me to sit here and go, oh my gosh, this is price is not moving the way I would like for it to move as quickly as I would like for it to move, and to say that it's boring, um, and I'm getting impatient. I'm like, come on, we have the opportunity to make here what most people make in their day at their job for 8 to 10 hours, and even a $200 win is more than a lot of people make in a day at their job. And I know I scoff at that a lot of times. Oh, it's only $200, but I only made $230 a day sitting in a classroom for 10 hours, or being on campus for 10 hours. Class only lasted for about 8 of those. So I got to check myself before I wreck myself. I like this little push down here. We respected the fair value gap still. We touched the breaker. On NQ, you can see how they color outside the lines a little bit. NQ touched the breaker almost to the tick. The bottom of the fair value gap filled it in, which is good. We want to see that. Now the wall has been painted, we can offer higher. We may not. We may continue to come on down, shock the world, but you know, I should have probably taken the opportunity to add more on that pullback, but every time I add, I get my butt spanked, so I'm not gonna. I know if nothing else, it would cause me to be emotional about the trade, and right now I'm not. If I lose it, I lose it. It's okay. But right now I'm still liking the setup. I will continue to like the setup until I get stopped out, and then I'm going to be not liking the setup anymore. I'm going to squeeze this one a little smaller so we can focus more on the NQ, the big contract. Because I prefer to get my signals off of this. Muhammad, I don't even know if he's still watching, but Muhammad a while back told me I should use this one to get my signals in. And he was right. I have seen NQ take a low where MNQ did not. And I was waiting for MNQ to take a low. And I I just think the signals are a little bit cleaner on the bigger contract. But as you can see, you might need to have your stop a little, give yourself a little bit more leeway on your stop, because this one, it came down quite a few points further. See, that's 48 quarter. This is the volume imbalance. I am a little concerned. I think I might move just a little bit further down, maybe to there. That's still within my realm. 250 is my normal stop on a 5 lot. This is not looking good. All right, so we got stopped. One thing I would like to take a look at here is a 30-second chart, because that's where I took my trade off of. And the 30-second breaker is actually right here. So I'm going to mark that one just out of curiosity and just see how the market reacts with it before I enter any other trade. So what did I do there? I re-entered a trade. I made money on that first trade. Made $300, something like that. Got me close to even. I re-entered with the expectation that we were going to continue higher, and I lost $200. So now I'm in the hole again. That's what I do more times than not. Instead of just being happy with the profit I already made. Now, the reason I did that is because the profit I made was not even enough to break me even, because I got smoked on this rundown. I took a trade right here off of this fair value gap, and I got smoked. So had I been holding my original trade still, this is the opening range low we just now went back down into. But did we invalidate the breaker? No, we didn't. We pushed into it, but it's a 20-point breaker. If we go to the 1-minute chart, you can see it's a 20-point breaker. So that's a lot. 25 point, 26-point breaker. So we could go all the way to the halfway point of that breaker, and it would still be valid. And I bet you we got pretty close to it. Yeah, opening range low is right there at it. So here I am wanting to enter again. I'm a little, I don't know. Are we going to wick into this? I apologize. I just can't seem to quit this cough. Why didn't we take those lows there? Original consolidation. No, this just doesn't look right. Why didn't we take those? And that would just make sense. If we were running on liquidity, when we did dip into this, and I thought we might, I mean, by this point, we've revalidated the breaker. I feel like I'm missing out. Yep, I'm missing out. Hmm. Original position, still good, but I killed it. Let's see how bad I get smoked on this one. You know, I'm gonna pull it back down to here. I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get it. I'm on the wrong one. Right there. I want to see how this is working with the opening range as well. Probably should do this before I enter a position. So we didn't quite make it down those. Put it right there. So opening range wise, we haven't even made it back to half of it. That's the halfway point. Right here. 23,000. Come on, you're making me feel like I'm going to miss this run. Get down there and fill me. Should we just get filled and then put a bigger stop? Or just be very, very patient? You dirty rat fink. You touched me. There we go. All right. I had a weird thing happen earlier. I was in a, I'm going to put more than 10. If I'm on 5, I'm going to put 250 stop. So that would be 20 points, 25 points. All right. So I had a weird thing happen earlier. I was in a position somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but it was like a news story had come out. I think it was right at 9, just shortly after 9. This last little push down or something. The one I got smoked on, and no, it wasn't that one. It was one before. It was one before that. But I was in a position, and the market started doing some crazy stuff. And where my stop was, I should have got stopped out for a $200 loss. But for some reason, I had a gain on that position because I was down. I was down like $200 when I entered that position, and then when it closed the position out, I was at even. And so it was before I took my first long on this deal. Okay, hopefully this one will hold. I'm liking the PD array. We came back down, touched into this original fair value gap, and so hopefully that's all the low we want, and we can go up from here. On the 4 hour, half of the range, that's a possible take profit. We'll see how it corresponds with other candles. I'm going to make it yellow because that's just usually what I make the CE. I'm going to get rid of this. So on a 15-minute time frame, yeah, there's nothing there. That's just one giant freaking candle. We fell out of bed at the open, went right to this. Definitely we were going there for searching for liquidity. Took out 3 4 hour lows. Look at a 5 minute. On a 5 minute, there's fair value gap here and here. the market moves the inefficiencies, so I still stand by this trade. I think it's going to be a good one. And this is 23.58, 23.14. That would be like low hanging fruit, all the way back to settlement, 23.58. You can have the best crystal ball in the world, and the market's still going to do what it wants to do. We may range right here the rest of the day. Maybe the best thing to do would be expect it to range here the rest of the day and just take profit at the highs and lows of the range or something. But I am due for a big run like this, and I'm going to hold it. I'm trading what I think and kind of what I see too. I think I would benefit from getting out of my own way. My original entry was right here around the opening range, and my stop was below this candle wick. If I and I would have it would have been a $200 loss if it hit it. If I would have just left that alone, didn't touch it, endured this chop, I would still be in my original position. Probably could have added when it dropped down there like that, and I'd be golden. I'd be reaching for that max profit day. But a lot of times I get in here and I start going ooh ooh ah ooh and get scared. But I really do think this is a solid setup, and I really do think we're going at least to settlement, maybe to the all-time high. But this is half of the day's range. That's also a really good take profit. The typical reversal pattern, 90 points. So right here at settlement is 99 points. The first reversal pattern of the day is typically 90 points. On the second reversal pattern, 50 was more common. On my back testing, that is. There were some, there was 200 points on a reversal pattern. 250. I think the biggest I saw was 300 and something on a reversal pattern. But those were the extremes, so I took them out. They're not part of the average. Let's see. I've got it right here in front of me. 306 was the highest. We had a 289, a 215, 214. Yesterday, we put up a reversal pattern to the downside and had a 225 point run down. But I was not in the mood for shorts because we had just taken the all time high. Man, this is sweet right here. This is exactly the kind of thing I was looking for. Wish I wouldn't have gotten nervous on that first one and killed it, because now I've got to make up the $200 I lost plus whatever's going on here. So I need mucho profito. the 99 points, that's settlement. I mean, to me, that's the best place to aim. But if we aim for all-time highs, I do like this. If I move my stop over here, I can see how it corresponds with the drawings I have over here on NQ. If we go there, I mean, that's a problem. That's all, very, very possible. And say we take off the majority of our position at settlement, and then we can just leave one running. I like that hypo. I like that idea. But we are at round number. Round number's a pullback point. So I'm liking the way this one's moving. I don't think it's more of a straight line. I mean, that sucker's going straight up. But we do have this 5 minute fair value gap wick right there that could be a pullback point and round number 23.15, center of the range. Man, would I ever love to get a full pull here. I'm tempted to preserve my profit here since we're at round number and we're probably going to pull back to 80. but I'm not going to overmanage. I'm not going to overmanage. When you're up nearly 50 and you're watching it dwindle away, it's nerve wracking. But this is a very, very nice setup. When I get this account funded, which if this trade works out will be tomorrow, um, I'm gonna do another combine, and I don't know for sure. I haven't decided yet exactly what the rules are going to be, but I think it's almost impossible to blow up a combine if you're only trading one micro and you're managing your risk properly. I mean, even on one micro, the biggest move you're going to, biggest swing you're going to see in a day is probably 200 points. So that's a 400 point stop loss on one micro. And I'm thinking after the first 30 minutes, whether, regardless of which direction it goes, high or low, if it goes low for the first 30 minutes, you buy. If it goes high for the first 30 minutes, you sell. And with one micro, maybe $100 stop loss, I bet you could get that thing funded and never have any risk of blowing up your account. So that's what I want to do. That's what I want to test just to see. Uh, at $200 a day, it would take you, you know, 15 days, or maybe 250 a day. It would take you 15 days. That's just a 100 point move for one micro. I really think it's possible to do that, and I want to do it as kind of a new series on the YouTube channel. That's just an idea I've been kicking around. But before I go to do it, playing around with something like that, I need to get this one funded and I need to get a payout because I know I've got a system that works. I'm getting my emotions under control. I'm still taking stupid trades. I took some this morning and I'm like, why did you do that? Your setup is not there. Why are you doing it? The setup is saying go short and I'm going long. And it just, I do that and then I kick myself. So I need to get to the point where I'm not doing that. Number one, I'm not over managing my trades. This is a situation where you should take the trade and walk away. My back testing, and I shouldn't be trying for a million points either. 90 points is what my average is. If I take out the highs and I take out the lows, 90 point is the average reversal morning time. And so I should be trying for my 90 points here. And I think this settlement is at 99 points. That's not too far out of the realm. But that's what I should be doing. Just make it very um, methodical, where I wait for my 4 hour low to be taken. I take my trade, I put my stop in an appropriate level without regard to how much it's costing. Like here, it would be below the breaker, which we've respected that breaker. You can't see it on this because it's a 5 minute, but we respected the breaker. So here's the breaker's low. Stop would go below here. We never even got close to it. I had my original stop down here, and it was only $250 because I went off of this 30-second breaker after we made this higher low. Leave it. 90 points, you leave it. I think I'd be sitting right there at the 90 point mark right there. On 5 micros, that's nearly 700 bucks. That's all it really would take for me to get funded, and I could fund as many accounts as I wanted. But I still take those stupid impulse trades. I get in here like yesterday morning. Oh, I was completely out of it. I should have even been trading. And I take a freaking short as soon as the market opens. That is nowhere near my trading setup, but I did it. I did it. And then it gets up there, takes out the all-time high, and I take a long. Oh, not even close to my trading setup. But, you know, that's my struggle. Impulse trading. Trading what I want to happen instead of what I think or what I'm seeing on the chart. No, I'm not supposed to trade what I think. I'm just supposed to trade what I see. And this was a beautiful setup. Absolutely wonderful. I should not have overmanaged it. I should not have moved my stop at all. I should have left it there and taken the $250 loss if it went down and took me out. That's what I should have done. So, not perfect trade management. I got out, I re-entered, I lost $250, and now I'm back in and I'm getting profit again. So I basically just erased $100 of my profit by overmanaging. But this is still a possible point of reversal. So if we go from the 30-second breaker, which is here, we didn't get a fair value gap until way up here. So this will be our entry here, 90 points. That's going to put us right above these equal highs on the 1 minute. So how would that correspond with a 15? Oh, it took them off. I think that would be these. Let's measure it again. So it was right here. It was this fair value gap. 90 points would fill in that fair value gap. And if we're going to get that close to settlement, I believe we're taking settlement. $50 points on 5 micros is $500. And we've already been to 50 points a couple of times. Any of y'all make $500 at your day job on a day? I know a few people do. I never did. As a teacher, about 230 was the average for days worked. When I quit, when I started, it was less than that. It was maybe 180. Pop this high and run all the way to settlement. I want to see one big candle, like Donald Trump just said some wonderful, fantastic news. News bombs are always a concern. Even with the best setup in the world, the market makers use that news bomb to steal money from retail traders. I'm 100% convinced of that. Before, in trading futures, your news was scheduled. There may be something occasionally come across the wire that would move the market, but news was scheduled. You knew when non-farm was coming out. You knew all that. But ever since Trump has been elected, news is no longer scheduled. You can't plan for it. It's just like trading stocks in that, I was in Tesla and you can't predict any of that. I mean, you're in, your setup's there, you're trading the thing and everything's going good. And then a Tesla crashes and catches on fire and the whole daggum thing drops 5%. That happened all the time with stocks. There was one company I was in and the CEO bit somebody's nose off and their stock fell like 25%. They got arrested for biting somebody's nose off. It's awful, but the stock just drops like a rock, which, that's why I quit trading stocks, because you never knew when one of these news bombs was going to come out. And so I started trading futures because the news is scheduled. You know when to get out of the market. I'm not going to be in it when non-farm payroll number comes out. I'm not going to be in it when the unemployment claims. I'm not going to be in the market when FOMC is making their announcement. But now we don't have that anymore. We have the Tesla crash. It ever since Trump was elected, he can say anything in the Oval Office and move this market. I mean, it's not actual movement of the market, it's the computer cleaning everybody's stops out. That's what it is. So if you're getting in and you're keeping a tight, they know about what retail traders use for their stops. It's about 25-point stop most of the time. And so they'll on a news bomb, if you'll notice, it'll rip that candle out. Sometimes it'll be 50 points, sometimes it'll be 100 points, but it goes both directions. And it's cleaning out all the stops above and below the market current price. And that is one thing that's been very, very challenging to trade this year. And holding a position like this for a long time, I'm always super, super cautious because they can absolutely take your money like that. Hopefully today they won't. I know that's one of the reasons I've been trailing my stop a lot. And if I trail it, like if I decided right now to trail it, I might as well just kill the position because I know it's going to get taken out. Wherever I trail it to, if I put it right here to break even, I'm getting stopped out at break even. If I put it up here below that red candle, I'm going to get stopped out right there. So if I move it, I might as well just kill the position right there where it sits. This is a halfway point. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm going to watch very, very closely here. And if we get a pullback at the halfway point, anything significant, I don't know. I may have to take. I'm not going to overmanage. Listen to me talking myself in and out of this position. That's the way it goes, right? I sure hope y'all are a lot better at this trading game than I am. I'm hoping some of these little PD arrays that I've learned are helping you make some money. I know one of my listeners, one of my followers, his name is Adam, and he's just been absolutely freaking killing it with these reversal patterns. He's learned to spot them in the market in real time, and just doing really, really well with it. And he's been able to overcome the emotional stuff that I still struggle with. This is a sweet little setup. Pulling back to 87. That is a fair value gap on the 15-minute chart. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it did that. So if it does, don't get nervous. If it doesn't, hip hip hooray. But it could. What time is it getting to be? We're past the London close. We're coming into New York lunch hour. The lunch macro starts in 3 minutes. We could see it push higher. We could see it pull back. right, there's our halfway point. Are we going to blow through it or reject off of it? Sure would like to see it just rip on through there and not even take a breath. How many points is settlement? 100 points. And then if we can make it to all-time high. That'll be an additional $110 on one micro. Not bad. Getting through it a little. I think, yeah, this is actually another fair value gap on a 15-minute chart right there. Small, but I'll take it. That is an indication of more upside. We also have a volume imbalance here. Sweet. Some of the fast moving is kind of slowed down, but we're not having a lot of pullbacks. And they're a little bit of pullback, green, 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 green. I like that. Can we get about a 20-point upside candle? Just hold it. This one right here is a bit of a contention. I'm tempted to put my first take profit there. That would be a downside. Fair value gap to the downside. And we just hit 20. Going from 20 to round number. Back down to round number and then back up to 20 or back all the way down to 80. That's also pretty normal price movement. It's going to depend on how aggressive this move up is here. One thing else I've been struggling with is the exit. I have a good entry strategy. My exit strategy is something I need to perfect. Where can I confidently exit the trade where I feel like I'm not leaving any money on the table? I'm thinking earlier where I said I shouldn't have gotten out, I should have just held and ignored it. Where we put up that reversal pattern, that should have been my exit criteria. And when it took the lows, that could be my re-entry because we would still be working off the higher time frame. Maybe I even put a limit order down there at the lows. Little things you learn along the way. I'm still learning, very much so. I've been a year and a half into this futures game, and I've come a long way in the last couple of months, but I still got a lot to learn. Come on, 1250 macro, rip higher. the wrong direction, 1250. The wrong direction. So, if we use our exit criteria as a breaker being validated, this would be our current breaker. Probably ought to switch it over here. So our breaker would be this guy. And if we start to validate that thing with candle bodies closing below, I should go ahead and take off the position. All right. So we got 25 seconds before this candle body actually finishes. So let's see. If it closes below. Okay, it closed. So I'm going to go ahead and take the position off. And I'm going to look to see where it's going to go. Liquidity wise, we have this fair value gap on the 15-minute. I don't even know if that one is officially a fair value gap yet because, yeah, okay, so we have this one and we also have this one as possible liquidity runs. Let me kill this. So running back into either one of those is possible. And when we put up an intraday breaker and it gets validated, it doesn't have to run all the way down to the bottom, but it will run some of this liquidity. Make sure that's bullish. There we go. So it could just run this one, but it could run this one too. So I'm just going to watch it, and I am going to re-enter for a push to this fair value. This hasn't even valid. Well, yeah, it did. Okay, so there's a fair value gap to the downside right here. So it is definitely a valid breaker. If you felt froggy, you could enter a short here and just try to take this liquidity here. It's just not a whole lot of points. Let's see, you would enter there, and that fair value gap high is only 8.25 points. But, you know, it's a couple $100 on. If you get 10 points out of it, that's $200 on a mini. On a micro, it's 20 bucks. I'm not in a short frame of mind, but I think I did discover my exit criteria just now, and my re-entry criteria as well. That's a good step in the right direction right there. If y'all have not heard me mention Liza Spirit Trades, Liza Spirit Trades, she has a lot of good videos about learning the whole mental game of trading. She also does morning meditations with trading, and really cool. It's been really beneficial for me to listen to her. And she was mentioning that the other day about the trade. You know, when you get in and you're up a good amount of money, and then all of a sudden you're getting stopped out at break even or something like that. And she asked, well, what's your exit criteria? And I said, you know what? I don't have one. I have a take profit, but if it's not going to my take profit, what is my exit criteria? So we just took the first low. Is that all it wants, or does it want this low? It looks like it may want to be reaching a little lower, but that is round number. It could just stay there, go back up from here. So now I have an exit criteria. If we validate a breaker to the downside, and I have a re-entry criteria. Once we take that intraday low and we put up a bullish signal, I can take another long. I think that's really going to improve my trading here. So based on that, we would have to revalidate this fair value gap to the downside. We would have to get above this one and basically invert that fair value gap. This is actually a downside fair value gap. I need to change the color. We'd have to invert that one, and this would be our breaker right there. But yeah, Lisa Spirit Trades. I put a link in the description of my last video, and I think, I don't know if I can put a link in the description of this video or not, but I highly recommend watching some of her videos just to get your mental game right. She's good. Her and Andrew Mineker as well. I really enjoyed listening to his stuff too. Okay, so pushing a little bit lower. We made it through that fair value gap. And this is one you could have definitely taken and grabbed, 15, 20 points down to this. This looking like we're going to come down to this level here, which would correspond well with a 20 to 80 rotation, which is very common in the NASDAQ. Running from, it doesn't matter what the round number is, but in this case, it's 2320 down to 2280. I see that rotation a lot. And Matt Miller talks about it a lot too. 20 to 80 rotation is just something that you see very, very frequently. And I think that's all because the price is delivered by an algorithm. I don't think there's a whole bunch of people in there selling right now, making this price go down. Because for every seller, there also has to be a buyer. So that shouldn't move price. All right, there's our low. I wish we had a breaker a little bit closer. This is a 15-minute fair value gap right here on this blue one here. I'll label it as such. $15-minute fair value gap. Haven't quite made it to 80. So that would have been a nice little 40-point run. Why wouldn't I take that trade? Because I work off of higher time frames. This is all intraday. There has been no 4-hour high taken on this run up. We did take center of the day, but overall, I'm still bullish on this day. Lower time, the lower hanging, higher time frame objective of the fair value gap has been taken, and we may come all the way back down to breaker here. That would be freaking awesome, because I will enter it again if we bounce off of that breaker. So we've already made it through the 15-minute fair value gap. This is the first fair value gap after our 1-minute breaker. We can get rid of that guy. That is no longer. This guy is no longer valid. This is the halfway point of the day. I don't even need it on there anymore. This is a 15-minute fair value gap to the downside. Our original breaker, opening range low. This is the 30-second breaker, which is where I took my original position off of. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it too. I should leave it on just to see if we pull all the way back to it. But I'm thinking this guy right here is going to be our reversal point. Man, that would have been a sweet trade. Too bad I'm not a intraday time frame trader. See, we didn't take a 4-hour high there. So I'm viewing this just as a pullback for more upside. And you can see the aggressiveness of it. To me, it looks like a liquidity run. If you were trading yesterday, we did a retouch of the breaker that was really sweet. Let's see. I think it was right here. Yeah, we fell out of bed. Our breaker ended up being right here. Yeah, right there. And we came and wicked down into it several times. Original fair value gap after the breaker was right here. We never violated the, even I don't think we even violated this fair value gap with the candle body. Yeah, we didn't. And then we ended up trading up the rest of the day. But it was choppy and it was a little scary. But it was a good signal as well. So it's really good to see the market getting back to normal and that kind of stuff. All right, so we haven't made it down to where I would like to see it go yet. But I do like that we put a breaker up, a potential secondary breaker right here. There is a small fair value gap right here. But I think, yeah, it looks like we respected it. Let's see. It's a very, very small one. Very small. And we did respect it. So I'm thinking if we can, this is the last down candle, but it's also green. If we can validate that one, I'll go ahead and take another long. since it was such an aggressive move, I would prefer it come down to here, to be honest. But if it shows a reversal signal here, I will take that. Yeah, they're all like the last push down, it popped back up. Yeah, here we go. Make a new low here. Make a new low, you dirty rat. These PD arrays, they vary. You know, for a while there, we weren't coming back down to the breaker. We would just come back down to the fair value gap, wherever it may be. And then, and it may have been even way up here, and it wouldn't come all the way back down to the breaker. But then for a month or two there, it was coming all the way back down to the breaker, and that was your entry. And that was a really good, solid entry. And then it stopped coming back down to the breaker and just went to the fair value gap instead. So they all look a little bit different, but the nuts and bolts of them are the same. So in this situation, we went up, we validated, we came back down, we made a higher low, we took out a higher time frame PD array of a fair value gap to the upside. We went up, chopped around, we came back down to the breaker, did not violate the halfway point, and then expanded up. Have we left liquidity above? Yes, we have, in the form of a fair value gap to the 15-minute chart. We've left that liquidity. Now we've returned back down to this little fair value gap, which we never violated. We did not make a new low. So here's our breaker to the upside. And I like that. I will take a trade off of it. I would have preferred we come down here, but this is a fair value gap forming to the upside right here. So I will take a trade off of that if when this candle body finishes. I want to make sure that this remains a fair value gap, number one, because we are just still at 80. We could still push down further to 50. So I want that candle to finish, this to remain open, and then come back down to it and give me an opportunity to enter. Seven seconds. Will it remain open? There is a volume imbalance right here that it may have just been wicking into, and then we rip back lower. Let's see. I am using this candle. The last down close candle is also a green one. So I'm using its top as, you know what? That's it. That was my entry right there. One tick above. I want this candle to finish. I want to make sure this is respected. We got plenty of room to the upside. 23 seconds. Four, three, two, one. All right, it was respected. So I'm going to enter. Put back our original position size on here. I would like to enter at the fair value gap, but I don't think I'm going to get an opportunity, so I'll just try to enter right there at that wick. And this should be a pretty rapid run back up, if it is going to run back up. And this needs to go below these lows. And this needs to go to settlement. If you ever wonder how I mark out my settlement, I've got it marked right here. This is the first presentation fair value gap. I'm going to take it off for now. I'll just know it's right above there. But this is settlement. And the way I do it, I change this to regular trading hours. And wherever we ended the previous day, it's actually at 3:15 is the last candle. I just put a white line there for settlement. And you can see we opened with a little bit of a gap up, pushed higher, filled the gap. Man, I'm really impressed with how I read that price action there. Good night's sleep makes all the difference in the world. So we do still have some liquidity here, and I like settlement. I guess I can put those 4 back on here. We'll sell 4 at settlement, which I think it's actually at 58.50. Yeah. So 58.50, we'll sell 4. And then I want it to go to all-time high. Once we pop settlement. I don't know that it will, but I'm going to leave 2 running and see. 1 running and just see if it gets there. So this is beautiful. Man, oh man, I feel like I know what I'm doing today. Do we hit round number and come back down? Or do we continue up to my take profit? I'm liking we tried to push lower and we couldn't. And I'm liking this. Even though it's tiny, it still matters. So when we pushed away from here, we did create this little bitty fair value gap right there. And it is small. Look at that. If you think this algorithm isn't referring to it, you would be incorrect. Look at that. Candle bodies respected at 100%. Wicks can do the damage all they want. Candle bodies give you the narrative. So we whip down in it. Candle bodies higher, higher. That one did a little lower. Touched it again. Adios paya. Is that not a beautiful thing? 1 green candle and a sea of red. That could be a reversal point. This is what I call the telephone call. They can't very well call up everybody that has billions of dollars in the market and say, hey, we're about to rip retail traders a new one. Y'all go ahead and get your bets in. So they give this little signal. And this is the first one. And then some of them said, hey, man, I missed that. I didn't see it. I was in the bathroom. And so they say, well, we'll give you one more chance at it. And they'll do this. I really do believe that's what's going on here. And it's all designed to take our money. And if we can learn that pattern, and we see it over and over and over again every single day, then we'll be on the side of big money. And we'll be bankrolling just like them. All right, so here's our fair value gap at this reversal point. Are we going to trade through it? Are we going to violate this breaker because it was not a higher time frame breaker, but rather an intraday level? Are we going to get through it? My bet is we do. I bet we get through it. Should I move my stop to break even just in case we don't? Or should I confidently leave it where it is? I don't think there's any harm in moving it to break even. We got plenty of PD arrays. I'm going to put it underneath this candle right here. Is the one that created, it's a fair value gap. So we should not trade back down through it. It should remain open if we're going to remain bullish here. So having your stop below it, and there's actually another little one right above it. We should even actually respect it. So I could even move it up that close if I wanted to. But that bottom is awfully close to the round number, and we're not that far above it. So I'm going to leave it down here at the 86 level. Or 84, 84.75 over here. Yeah. We did slow down a little when we're getting here. We're going to wick it and fall back. We got another one right here, another fair value gap right there. Look at that. Boom. And it's the same size. Is that really the same exact size? I think it is. It's almost like a computer's delivering the price or something. Yeah, same exact size. To the freaking tick. I like it. Thank you. Thank you, computer program, for giving us the signal. Continue to offer higher, please. I think it does help not to have your profit on here, having points or something instead. Because if I was looking at dollars on there, I would be like, ooh, I'm up $200. I don't want to lose that. I'm up $300. I don't want to lose that. So having the points on there does put a little degree of separation. I am pretty decent with the math, so I can figure out about what I'm doing. But having that number right there in your face, um, see how it wicked into that negative fair value gap there? That could be that we're reversing here and we're going back down. It's revisiting that breaker, but because it's not a higher time frame situation, I'm not stressing about it. If that was a 4 hour high right there, I would be stressing about it. I'd be taking my profit already. Yep, I'm liking settlement. far away to settlement. Just another 30, 40 points. Little development. I don't know. Is this intraday time? Is this intraday reversal pattern gonna hold? I mean, it respected it to the dadgone tick. I think I got to take it off. I mean, here's the one I thought it might pull back to. But the way it respected that thing, I don't know. Maybe if somebody called and said, "Hey, I didn't get in on that one either. Could you drop it one more time?" Yeah, take it off. We already violated the center point of this, so we'll see. We'll see if we get another entry. This is the fair value gap that I would be willing to enter in again if it stops there on a dime. But with that reversing there like that, I think in dancing between these two breakers is probably what we're going to start doing next. I wonder how I'm sitting on the day. I'm up 329. That's just basically gotten me back to where I was before I blew my account, almost blew my account yesterday. It's just I'm not within reach of getting funded, but I'm trying not to get into a big hurry of getting funded either. If it'll give me another opportunity, like if it touches this breaker and rejects, I will possibly enter another long. But it certainly did reject off of that breaker and the fair value gap of that breaker. And we filled in this one completely. This is the only one of contention that would need to remain open for this to be a continued bullish move. Time of day isn't quite right for another reversal. 12:30 actually isn't bad, but we're already at 12:39. This one occurred at 12:17. This one was at 12:30. What I'm seeing is downside, but since no 4 hour was taken, I really can't take that short. We went back down to almost to 80. Yeah, that's the low of that candle right there. 82.75 is the low of that candle. I don't know what the probability of the opening range. I can't remember the number I've heard, but it seems like it's like up there, like 75% of the time. If we re-enter, if we leave the opening range and then re-enter it with a 15-minute candle, closing back inside of the opening range, the probability of it going through the entire opening range is very high. But I can't remember what that number exactly is. And the fact that we rejected after the at the halfway point. Halfway point was actually at 14, 23,014, which is when we went back up. That's about where we went to, and then we rejected again. So I'm thinking if I was to enter another trade towards settlement, we need to get above this halfway point. But also, if you're big money, you want to buy below the halfway point. So, if this is a liquidity and this is a breaker, we could buy there. I think I'm going to try one more. I'm going to try one more. What the heck? I'll try it. I'm going to let this candle finish. We're kind of inverting this guy. This should have continued down if we were going to have more downside. We should have come and taken out this guy here. So 15 seconds left on this one. There's a bearish fair value gap right there. I need to be marking it on the other chart, but I just want to see the middle of it get violated. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to try to enter a round number right here at the base of this fair value gap that's forming. Let's Go back to a 1 minute on our bigger contract. Okay, so round number would be an inversion of this or revalidation of that. I think I might be able to get a better entry. I'll just keep it there. My stop will be, I'm going to put my stop down here. That's 20 points away. I may not get an opportunity to enter here. Come on. Fill me one time. 25 points would be at 05. Yeah, this is pretty aggressive. Let's see if we bounce off of that again and pull back. We got a volume imbalance there. I might try to enter there. That would still give me, that's at 6. That would still give me 25 points to the bottom here. So we'll try it. We're just putting up fair value gap after fair value gap after fair value gap and no pullback whatsoever. If I would have left that other trade on, I would not have gotten stopped out. I would have gotten stopped at break even. As it was, I made a little bit of money on it. Okay, so that would be the volume imbalance should be included in this. Tick above. We touch that one again. Are we going to pull all the way back to the bottom of the range? We're about to find out. So I only have a 10-point stop loss on here now. That's not enough. I'm going to put on the full all the way down to here. We could range here. I could get stopped out. But I'm just liking this move straight back up, and the fact that we didn't take a low and that we respected this little guy and now this. I like all of that. Just showing bullish to me. And returning to settlement is highly, highly common. So we'll put up the same trade that we had before. Settlement is here. We'll take 4 off, and then we'll aim for at least high of the day. That's at 23.25. I would like all-time high to go. And all-time high is at here, 112.50. That'll be $200 on just that one, and roughly 58 points there on 4. That would be 400. A little over $400. Be 116 times 4. If we get there, we're hanging out here. I don't like to see it hanging out. Time of day, a little early. We could range here. We could definitely range here. So we are violating that one with wicks. We may be playing off of this guy. If I start seeing these things getting taken out, then I'm going to have to kill the trade. That's just back to the round number there. Not a big deal. Almost expected. If we start pushing back down to 80, ooh, no, I don't like that idea. Rip higher from right here. Let's go. I need more upward movement. I'm losing confidence in it. If you do 5 micros, it's like doing half of a mini. So it's costing you $10 a point. Okay, so this one pretty much is closed. So now we have to look at this guy. If we violate this one, I got to kill this trade. And it's possible because we are so far respecting the halfway point of the range and this bearish breaker that was created after we made the halfway point of the range. If you don't understand what I mean by that and you just started watching, I'll show you again. First 30 minutes of the day, we put up this giant candle, and that's the opening range, the first 30 minutes. Okay, and I put my little Fibonacci. It's really just a measuring tool. I don't use Fibonacci numbers, but you put it on the entire opening range, and the halfway point is right here. We poke through it, and that's where we put up this reversal pattern. And we could have more downside. We may offer down to here. We did have another fair value gap on the 4 hour down here. We may end up offering down to there. It's hard to say. But I like the idea of going back to settlement. We danced around there all evening, all pre-market. It really liked settlement. And so that's my hypo. But we've got to respect these fair value gaps to the upside in order for it to remain bullish, and we're not. So we violated another one. Just, I think we're going to be dancing between 2 breakers here, so I got to take this off, unfortunately. So there's some of my profit being whittled away little by little. $15 points, $150. Was a little early. I do like these. It's creating relative equal highs here on this 1 minute chart. So when it does decide to reverse, I would like to see it take this, bounce off of this, or even come all the way down to here and bounce and then go back up. But just depends on what the computer is tuned to do. I was looking at that volume imbalance thinking that might have been the draw. But it really, I don't think it took it out. It's pretty close. Yeah, it did. I could have left that one off. That'd have been fine. It took out the volume imbalance and went straight back up. Son of a gun. That's a real nice candle right there. It's only 10 points, but it looks like it's big because I got it blown up. I'm going to try to enter again. I'm going to let this candle finish. I was hoping to get in right here. An inversion of that. Fair value gap. It's got 19 seconds left on this candle. Is it going to remain? So we just took out that volume imbalance. I'm wanting to get back in along here. I really am. But because of the chop, look at that. I'm at 183. I'm gonna give it a 15-minute break because I think there could be something else develop here, and I'm already wanting to click and go long again. And clearly, the market has decided to fall into a range. Typically, a reversal pattern in the afternoon like that is usually around the 130 mark, 130 time frame. So a 15-minute break would be, it would get us back in the driver's seat right about the proper time. Oh. So you're saying this one is a 15-second chart breaker, Adam? Let's see. This pullback. I'm not sure which one he's talking about. Maybe here. This pullback. Breaker on a 15-second chart. Yeah, I could see that. So the first one we pulled back to here, the volume imbalance. The second one we came back, and if you mark that as a breaker, and this would be your liquidity run. I mean, you can spot trades anywhere because we did put up a fair value gap here. Immediately violated down to this one. Yeah, I could see going long there, definitely. I'm still long-minded. I'm still thinking we're going back to settlement. I just don't want to get caught up in a bunch of chop here and lose all the profit I've made for the day. So I need to see something a little more decisive. I want to see this breaker violated. If it gets violated, this fair value gap, we start trading above this breaker right here. I would try to enter because the market will come back down to it, believe it or not. They use those as a reference point too. And usually you can enter right at the top for a push back up. So that would be from 21 to 58. You know, that would be 37 points. That would be nice. Little return there. And then if we continue up to the high of the opening range or possibly all-time high, you know, that's quite a bit of movement. That would be an additional 40 points there. Well, 32. And if we can get up to the round number, 2,300 or maybe even all-time high, that would be ideal. We could get another 40 to 50 points. But right now, because we're in this chop, and I'm trying to guess, are we going higher? Did we make a 15-second breaker? To me, I want to see something more decisive. If we're going to leave this area, we need to violate this. I think this was a good trade. I wish I would have taken my profit when it touched that, because that I would be up a lot higher on the day than I am. But, you know, hindsight's 2020. When it went there, I thought we were blowing through it, and we were going to go on up there to settle. You see how I went over there and I looked at that $183? I was like, oh man, that's nothing. I Uber and DoorDash and stuff, and I've been doing it for 10 years because I just get bored at night. I'm an empty nester. If I made $183 Ubering one night, and I've done it before, I'd be thrilled to freaking death. But if I do it trading, I'm like, yeah, geez, I only made $180. What a crap day. Is that a disconnect there or what? I couldn't be looking at this as like real money. I mean, it's a combine, so maybe that's part of it, but $180 is not bad. You got to have 200 to get a qualifying day. But I've already been there. I was at 359. I didn't honor that 359 enough to hold on to it. I'm trading I'm trading what I believe is my system, and I don't think I took any crap trades, but the market just decided to bounce around here for a little while, and that happens. You're going to lose some. But if what I think is about to happen happens, I will make that $200 back right back up. If we get above this line right here, I'm going to label it out right now. Look for the long here. There we go. That's the only place I'm going to go long again, and I'm not taking a short. It's right there. I don't like it. Let's do this. I'll make it big enough where I can see it. There we go. Now, I want it to violate that crash. Let us know that we actually are moving higher. Right now, they're in straight steal money mode. And if it doesn't do that, I'm done for the day. I'm going to take my $183 profit and smile. 21, 2022. I'm going to put alert on my Moo. Moo is the only app I've found that when I put in an alert, it will alert me on my phone. It'll start dinging at me when a price level is hit. So that's at 23. I'm going to put it at 23.20, and that'll alert me to come look. Because I'm going to go cook myself some eggs for lunch. The Chop Fest. Ah, that's the one you're talking about, isn't it, Adam? We came back down to that breaker. Yeah, we sure did. And this breaker. Yeah, I think we're probably good on a long. I don't know. I would want to see it pull back. I just don't want to erode any of my profit on a maybe, but I think it's probably good to go long. If you're a range trader, you can get in here and do some work. I'm just not good at range trading. I can always pick the candle where the range breaks, and it'll be in the opposite direction of my position. I think I'm just going to give two hypos. We pull back. I'd like to see a big wick candle pull back to here or here, and then I would go long, or break this high, and I would go long there. And those are my two hypos. And I'm going to end the stream so it's not 2.5 hours long. Okay. Or it probably already is 2.5 hours long. I don't want it to be um, an all day stream, but I am kind of liking this a little bit, and I'm wanting to join. I don't even know if I'm able to yet. Yeah, I am. It's been 15 minutes. Hmm. Time of day, not horrible. 1:30 would be better, but we're definitely in a little bit of a range here. We stayed down here for a long time, and now we're pulling away, and I like that a lot. But it is a 15-second chart. So let's look over here. That doesn't look so shiny anymore. We took that low. Now we're going to go back up. Looks like we're going to take those highs. So yeah, I think we're still in the land of ambiguity. This is probably going to continue to go up eventually because what Adam was saying on those breakers, this was a 15-second breaker and this was a 15-second breaker. So that's still showing we're respecting the bullish. I might enter if we can get through this fair value gap right here. If we can invert that thing, I might go ahead and take an entry. But ideally, the top of that other breaker would be best. Look at that range. I'm cooking an egg and cheese omelet if anybody wants one. I'll get one ready for you. Just let me know in the chat. Yeah, this is Chop Chop City. Man, if I was a range trader, I'd be making bank. If I had any success with that at all. I mean, I have had a little bit of success. It's just not my. I would love to be able to do it because the market spends more time in ranges than it does in runs. But so theoretically, that would be your most advantage. But I have never been able to find a consistent way to trade them. It always feels like gambling to me. I'm always nervous every time because I've had so many where it's in the range and I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and try a range trade, and I pick the exact candle that decides to break the range, or maybe it just extends it. Like say, if I identified this as the bottom of the range and I put an order to go long here, it would come down here and stop me out. Or if I picked this as the high of the range and I took an order short there, it would come up here and stop me out. And it does it every single time I try a range trade. It's done it enough times that I'm just like, no, not doing it. I will stick to my little PD arrays and they will make me money. And I'm just going to have to let things like this go. But could you do it? Yes, you certainly could. You could get really good at it and you can make a lot of money doing it. I just, I'm not that good at it. I, I really consider myself to be one of the unluckiest people on planet Earth. There was a movie years ago. I don't remember if it was the name of the movie was The Cooler or if he was just a character in the movie, but it was a guy that this casino hired him because he was so unlucky. All he had to do was go stand next to somebody on a winning streak and they would start losing. And I feel kind of like I'm that guy. So I can't rely on luck at all when I get into a trade. I have to trade my system. And preferably I would like to still be in my original trade down here. I got in right here. I would love to still be in that trade and seeing, okay, we respected. Yes, we're chopping, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have still held it, but I know I would be up significantly more than I'm up right now because I've lost now 200, $400 along the way getting back in and getting one of these jobbers. If I'm down here, my stops here, I'm still good. I haven't had to get in, I haven't had to get out. I'm just still good. See, this would have been one of those examples. If I would have put in a trade here, it would have offered to the lower end of the range, probably got to offer down there, and then I would get stopped out. I always try to cook my omelet like those people in the motel. Like I went to this casino and this guy, man, he was good. He put the egg in there, put a little oil, and he would put it on your plate. He never even used a spatula. He could flip it up in the air, turn it over, put all your condiments on it, and then when you put it on your plate, you put the first half on and then use the pan to flip it over. And I always try to cook my omelet like that, so I feel like I'm a really good chef. Are we done for the day? Is this all we're doing? We wanted to come up to half of the range. Don't ever discount that halfway point of anything because it is an important level to the algorithm. Even when you're trying to join a move on a 1 minute candle, the halfway point of each candle going up is a good spot to try to trail your entry. If it's just going up and up and up, if you put your entry at the halfway point, a lot of times it'll come back down and poke it and then continue up on the run. So right there will be our halfway point. Kind of wick test that. So if you're trying to join a move that's just going up and up, use those halfway points. I've seen those work out pretty well. $125. No, not yet. $121. I would like to see another pullback to about here and fail and then audios back up. But I'm okay with it getting in here too. One big long news bomb kind of wick down into that level would be real sweet. How long we've been here? Kind of started the consolidation there and then pulled back. I'll just say it from here. 12:30, almost 1:30. So we're almost an hour in this range. I want to see a big wick right there. Touch it. Boom. Man, that was a good omelet. That might be my new go-to dish. I'm on a high protein diet, so eggs is on the menu, lean meats and stuff, and not supposed to have breads and whatnot. Not a whole lot of fat in the diet. I've tried every diet in the world, I think. Most of the time, I just eat what I want. But when I do go on a diet, it's something like the keto diet. I've never done well with low fat and vegetables and all that, like they tell you to in the recommended diet. But the high protein isn't too bad. I do like my bread, but I can do without it. And you don't have to omit it completely if you don't want to. So it works pretty good for me. All right, so there we are, poking into that fair value gap again. Time is almost right for a bust of this range. We got another 6 minutes. Another 6 minutes. 1:30. Pop that high, come back down, touch that orange line. I'll be in like Flynn for settlement. I've heard that saying a lot in like Flynn, and I was wondering if there's an equal saying that's out like flout. What do y'all think? I'd really like to see it invert. I'm tempted to get in if it inverts this, but this is the better entry. Be patient. Be patient. If it inverts this, we know we got something. If it doesn't invert that, it could drop right back down where it came from. All right, that's a touch of the bearish breaker. If you are in a bearish frame of mind, wouldn't be a bad place to go short. I am not, because we are not at a higher time frame breaker location. We'd have to get all the way back up to here to be in that. Oh, that's regular trading hours. Extended trading hours. You can see we validated a breaker here with a fair value gap and another one. Our first opportunity to get in, maybe right around here. It still wouldn't have filled. All right, we hit the 20. And my phone's dinging at me saying, pay attention. Pay attention, something good just happened. I'll get in here and shut it off because I don't need it to ding at me anymore. I'm done cooking my eggs. That was sure a good omelet. None of y'all asked for one. I would have cooked y'all one for sure. I would have eaten it for you too. All right, so we're pushing through. We haven't invalidated it yet. We need a candle body closing above. Beautiful. Get up there, you dirty rat fink. I'd like to see it push away with a fair and then come back down and touch. That's where I'm going to put my entry. If we can just get above it and get above these highs, I will put my entry right there. I might put it at 20, but 22, my stop will cover it. 25 seconds. Be patient. This may not close above still. Could have ripped back down and leave. Oh, beautiful. That's what I wanted to see. All right, so now I'm going to put a limit to buy one. And I'm going to move it up there to that orange line right there. Probably a mistake going with a mini, but I'm doing it. Come on, pull back for me just a touch. I only have $100 stop loss in this figured in here, so I'm going to have to move it a little ways. That's only 5 points, which it may cover it. How far is it to there? That's 3 points. That might cover it. So we should stay above this orange line. But I would be better off getting below this fair value gap right here. This could just be the top of the range. And we trade back down to the bottom of the range. Anything could happen. But I like this setup. I'm going to take it. If I can just get a fill here. I have noticed a lot of times that breaker top will act as the it's a inversion breaker, and it will touch it. But I should have put it right there to tick above that candle, I guess. Because now I don't know. I can't do it with this one, but I can do it with a mini, and I'll do the halfway point thing. Buy 5 at that halfway point. Oh, I think maybe a little late. Yeah, there we go. Now it'll probably go down there where I was, but I just don't want to risk missing this move because I think it's about to pop. Now it did come back down, touch the line, so I would have gotten filled there. It could come all the way to the bottom of the line. It comes to the bottom of the line. That's at 18. I'm at 15. I really need to be below this candle right here. Reject. I don't like it. This is a fair value gap. I'm hoping it bounces back to the top side. Over here it would be this guy. I'm hoping it respects that. If it doesn't, I'm going to lose another trade. It did not respect the breaker the way I expected it to. So right now, I'm thinking we're going back to round number. Just looking at this price action, highly likely we could go back to round number. And I lose another one. These equal, equal, equal. Say we got more upside. Maybe I should put on a full risk. I don't know. I'll leave it there for now. This big orange box up here is a 15-minute fair value gap to the downside. That would be the lowest hanging fruit, the bottom of that bottom line. If you just wanted to take a little bit of profit off of this, that would be at 34. It'd give you about 9 points if you entered where I did. If you entered here, it'd give you about 15 points. I'm liking settlement. Still, I don't I don't come off of a hypo very quickly, do I? Man, get up there, you dirty rat fake. Could just be ranging still. Pop. It's 1:30. It's time for you to pop. See what time of day this one actually. It was at 1:32 and it started to run. Broke the top of the range. There's the 1:30 candle right there. I like it. Time of day's right. We got the fair value gap. I mean, I like it. Even though it put me in the hole right away, I still like this trade. Remember that 50% rule. This wick right here was the initial push. You can put one of those measuring tools on it. I've got my 25% mark on there. Get it off. So that would be considered a premium wick. If you were going to sell short, you would want it to stay below the 50% mark of that wick. If more longs are in the cards, it will candle bodies will start closing above the 50% mark of that wick. So because I'm already long, I want to see it closing above that. That 50% mark is really, really important. because you can type it into a computer program. And we also need to remember that we are at just above the 50% mark of the opening range candle. Which is at 314. When we came back down here, did we go to 314? We did. Touched it to the freaking tick. What do you mean? It's almost like an algorithm wrote that computer program. I'm getting more and more confidence in this trade. All right, there we go. We're pushing above the 50%. Can we have a candle body close? We got 5 seconds on this candle. Oh, it dripped back down just before it closed. So now this one opened above it. So that's good. I'm thinking we're good there. Now let me show you this. This is pretty cool. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. So our opening range candle is this big one right there. I'm gonna encase this entire opening range with the measuring tool, and then we'll change back to that 1-minute chart. I think that's pretty close to, I may be off by a tick or two, but let's go back to that 1-minute chart. And this pullback right here, see how it came back? So we got above the 50% mark, came back down to it, touched, and adios paya. I'm really liking this trade. I should add more. I think I will. Let me see. I'm going to get 3 more on. And I'm going to do it at the halfway point of that candle right there. Oh man. Oh man. I got to get in on this thing. I'll do the halfway point of this candle. It's not finished yet, but there we go. Right there, fair value gap. Could be a better entry. Let's do this. Let's get back to settlement. This is that fair value gap to the downside. That's our next higher time frame on a 15-minute chart. Oh, it's over here. 15-minute chart. That would be our next high on that 15-minute chart. I'm just curious if I make sure I'm dead on. Yeah, that's close enough. And that looks close enough. So yeah, that 50% mark is mucho importante. A little Spanish lingo for you this afternoon. This fair value gap may be a point of contention. We may reverse from there. And since I added, we probably will. We'll probably fall all the way back down to the low of the day. But I doubt it. Let's look at this wick again. And I bet you this candle body closes above the 50% mark of this wick. We filled the wick in. I bet you it stays above that. It did. Wow. Now, can we get above the 50% of this one? I bet you we do. This is the wick of contention here, so we're doing good on it right now. Bodies tell the narrative, wicks do the damage. I got a lot of loss on because I added so high in the column. 15 points on 8 contracts. That's 30 times 8, $240. Not bad. As long as it goes my way, it's not bad. We've got another wick of contention. We're still closing above. Man, I sure could have got a better entry. Sure would like to see it making some moves to the top side. Dang it. If it violates that halfway point with a candle body, I might close this one and try for a better entry. 24 seconds left on this candle. Erg. So we wick to there. That's equals. If we can get me back up to my entry, I think I might kill it and put an entry there instead. And look where it is, the top of that breaker. I'll just leave it. We had a candle body close below the wick. 50% now. That's not good. That's not good. If we don't respect this breaker top right here, I'm going to have to kill it. Big volume imbalance here too. Might be what we're going after. The volume imbalance is right here. You dirty rat fink. Don't do it. Wicked into the original fair value gap. Man, that looks insanely close to the tick wick. Please respect this thing. More downside. Sorry, no goods. Dirty rotten. This is giving me confidence to hold the trade right there. That candle right there. Because all of this made me feel like we were about to lose this trade. Now let's see if we can get back above that 50%. We're actually going to be working off of this wick now. Because that's our highest wick. Can we get back above the 50%? That wick with a candle body. See how we didn't even pierce into it at all right there? Should have been my cue to kill this trade. Man, I could have got a fantastic entry if I would have killed it when I was thinking I needed to kill it. Take a little loss, get a better entry, get a big win. See, this is a fair value gap to the downside of volume imbalance here. We could just range here. It may not go. It may not go anywhere else. But I'm going to give it an opportunity to go somewhere else. All right, so there's that volume imbalance right here. Just traded into it. No candle bodies in it. That's what makes it a volume imbalance. So we wicked into it. That's my entry right there. I always seem to find a place where the price wants to dance around. It doesn't want to go above it or below it. It'll just make me green for like a tenth of a second, and then that's it. I always find those spots. I don't know how I do it, but I find them. I was in a better entry spot just by a point or two before I added those three. We might just range here. I'm a little nervous. I am a little nervous. but still relatively confident. If we can get above this yellow line right here, I will be much more confident with a candle body, not just a wick. Come on, you dirty rat feet, NASDAQ. Let's go. Just high resistance liquidity. It's just taking wicks and falling back down, taking them, falling back down. I'm going to get rid of that box because that's just the volume imbalance. Just wanting to make sure you could see it. And this one too was volume imbalance. You can't use it as a spot for market to reverse, but it is a good one for market. If it's going to pull back to something, oftentimes it will pull back to a volume imbalance. If you think of it like the market painting a wall, that would be a spot where it didn't get any paint. So it's got to come back down, paint that spot. And that's kind of the way it treats fair value gaps too. It's got to come back down, paint that spot. And see, it painted it with wicks. Oh boy. Man, if I'd have got an entry down here, I'd be smiling right now. A lot bigger than I'm smiling right now. Come on, yellow line. These are not the wicks we wanted. We want this one. There, it wicked into it, but it didn't want to have a candle body close above it yet. All right, that's what I want to see. No, keep going. High resistance liquidity run. It's about to pop. I think we're about to see settlement, maybe in one candle. Or maybe we range here a couple hours. I'm tempted to go break even because we did not pierce that halfway point with a candle body yet. We have gotten past the halfway point, which is good, but I need to see a candle body above it before I'm like just super confident that we're going to go at least take that high. And this orange line would be the 15-minute fair value gap high. Aha, volume imbalance. Paint that wall. Now can we go? All right, wall's been painted. Good. Zippity doo dah. We want a candle body painted. You're not going to be able to do that because you got to finish higher. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Now, so that's the 15-minute fair value gap low that we just wicked into. It was at 34. So we're not far away from settlement. 58 is settlement. Oh, goodness gracious. 50% of that wick has been traded to and passed. Oh, that's what I like to see. So this is the 50% mark of the fair value gap. Let's see how it behaves around it. Is there any numbers here that would be kind of a psych level that we could be eyeballing? 50 is a psychological level, 2350. Price, oftentimes, if we get above the 20s, it will go to 50, and it sometimes comes back down to 20 again. Because we are in a little bit of a high resistance environment, it possibly could do that. This is just a regular rectangle that I've colored, and then I put on there on the settings. You can show the midline or not show it. See there? And so I want to make sure to show the midline. That just automatically marks my 50% mark when I wrap a fair value gap. When I mark one out. And so that 50% mark, it may touch it to the tick and fall out of bed, but I doubt it. But if you're being extra cautious, that'd be a good place to take profit. See this candle right here. Let's see about that 50%. Pull back a little more than 50%. Equal highs. Pop those equal highs. Let's go. Yep. Make sure I have that drawn right so we get a to the tick. Yeah, that's pretty much right on it. So that would be to the tick. Right there. And that's at 40. Could pull back. We could pull back. From 40 and still continue higher. So far, just looking at this run, the only fair value gap we have in this run is all the way down here. Look at that. We touched that son of a gun to the tick. Is that my imagination? And then pull back. We got to go unseat all these retail guys that have their stop. They've been trailing their stop. We got to go take them out. Or maybe this is where we reverse and I'm about to lose my rear. This is a fair value gap right here too. So we have two coming up. And then these are whipsaws, high resistance, upsy downsies. Get past that 50% mark. Let's invert this freaking fair value gap. Quit horsing around over here. Now, it should go above and then back down and touch it to the tick. Pretty daggone close to it. If we're going to remain bullish here. We don't need any more downside here. We're at 2 o'clock. Pretty close to it. This would be the 250 macro, I would imagine. 150 macro. Yeah. 150 actually started right here on this candle. The top of the hour from 150 to 210, the computer has different type of programming. ICT calls it a macro. I haven't noticed that much of a difference, to be honest with you, but he really refers to it like the Bible. A lot of times, if the price is going to pick a direction, it'll pick it during that 20-minute time frame. He calls it spooling. The price will start spooling during that 20-minute macro. So this would be our spool here. But we should go back to settlement here. We just got to get past this 50% contention mark here. There could be people taking shorts here. We could go back down. We don't have to go to settlement. I think because we are there, I mean, my exit strategy is that we would validate a breaker before I exit, and we're getting close to it. And this would be our breaker here. So if we start having candle bodies closing below it, then I'm in trouble. I got to kill this position. And I'm not that far away from it. I'm not even up 10 points yet. Okay, so I don't like that. We did wick test here. Well, I'll give it a minute or two, but I'm thinking I'm about to be in the hole on this position. Stay above the 30s. Volume imbalance right there. I got to kill it. Son of a gun. Why won't you just go one direction like I want you to? I should have just taken off some of them, but I could probably get a better entry here. Okay, so we're validating a breaker to the downside right here. We've pushed through it, created a fair value gap. Well, not almost. We got to wait till this candle finishes. We got to wait for 1 minute. But if we were going to run liquidity down here, we have this volume imbalance. We already just traded through it. If we put on like a 5 minute, we went through, this is a 5 minute fair value gap, and we just wicked to the tail end of it. So that may have been all we wanted there as far as liquidity goes. If I did not have 8 on right there, so I think we just invalidated this thing. We didn't actually create a fair value gap, and we haven't had any island bars below it. I think that's all we wanted, and I'm going to get back in. I'm going to buy only 5, and I'll try to buy them right at the base of that fair value gap at 34. I'll buy to that volume imbalance right there. Try to get into the volume imbalance if it'll let me. I get nervous on those big moves down. Oh man, it's not even gonna let me in. Come on, you can do it. Feel me, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Go to the top of the volume imbalance, maybe. All right, we'll go to that volume imbalance, maybe. Wick test. Halfway point. There we go. All right. I'm not getting out of this one. It'll have to stop me out. Let's reset our stuff. We'll do 4 at settlement. Leave 1 running. It would have filled me at that volume imbalance. That's okay though. The price action is looking pretty good. It really is. We did not validate this breaker. We tried and failed so far. I think the best thing for me to do right now is to walk away and let this trade pan out. So, you know what? I'm just going to try to take 3 off here and leave 2 running to high of the day. High of the day, opening range high. Is that, looks like 89. Just doesn't want to get through that fair value gap on a 15-minute. Hopefully it'll push on through. Well, we are pushing through. There's that 50% mark of the 15-minute negative fair value gap right there. So, what else do we have above here? We're well above the 50% of the daily range. So, all the big money ought to have their plays in place, but it's still early. We still got 2 hours of New York session. So, once we get past, if we can get past this fair value gap, that's the opening range high right there. And we really, I mean, this would be considered a balanced range, but this is pre-market. That's the pre-market high. What happened to settlement? I had it on here. I don't have it on here now. Let's see. I must have been clicking and deleted it. Regular trading hours. Let's go back to 1 minute. I know settlement's around 58, 59. Yeah, there's yesterday's settlement. I deleted it. Let's put her back. What I throw in the trash accidentally? A piece of cork. Now we're pulling back below the 50% of that fair value gap. Why won't you just go? It's definitely a high resistance environment we're in here. High resistance liquidity run. And it's early. So where were we going to put this settlement? Right. We put it there. We got to make it white and dotted. Might as well label it. I'm sitting here doing nothing. When we traded through this thing to the downside, it was rapid. We just took that little high, that little volume imbalance. I guess we really got to do some extra painting on this wall right here. That's what I'll keep telling myself, that we are not going to stall out here and go back down. We could go back down. I mean, it's right at my entry. My entry's at 37, and it's been above and then back down to it multiple times here. Even got me in the hole. I want to see it stay above that 50% mark. I'm going to try for a better entry. I'm going to try for an entry right here at 29, perhaps, or maybe here at 33. Let's see what it looks like over here. This one is 35, 33. That would be right at the base of the fair value gap. There's a volume imbalance there. We already wicked into it twice. I'll try it at 33, I guess. I mean, this looks like it could come down to here again. Is there a fair value gap in here we could mark out? No, not really. But we should have stayed above that halfway point, and we're not. So our breaker is here. And possibly if you wanted to use the highest candle being red, you could say it was the breaker. We've had no fair value gaps to the downside. Well, yes, we have. There's one right here. And we filled it in with that candle body. Yeah, we filled it in completely. But offering back down, let's do one of these fib tools here. We'll do this entire run from here all the way to the top. We'll do the halfway point right there. That's where I'm going to put my entry of 31. If we go down that far, why wouldn't we take these? Yeah, I'm going to put it below that one right there, 29.75. I was thinking maybe this one would be a good one too. If I don't get it exactly right, I can get back in. We invert this, I'll get back in. %50. All right, I like it right there. So we're gonna go 41 for our entry. 41. A little bit more aggressive pullback than I expected. Man, look at that. Put up a volume imbalance. See if we tick that to the center right there. All right, so we busted above this 50% mark. Candle body opened above it. That's good. Took out this high. That's good. We should have some continuation to the upside at one of these times. We should get a little decent run. But we're just loving this high resistance stuff. Absolutely loving it. Go up 5, 6 ticks and right back down 5 or 6 ticks. Up 7, down 6, up 8, down 7. I don't like the high resistance stuff. I want to see a rip. One rip. If we can break through this, we should go to settlement relatively quickly. But we got to get above this line right here. We're back above the 50% mark. We've invalidated this breaker, inverted its fair value gap. That's all good stuff. It all says more upside. Come on, just go. Oh, these candles. They just point. Let's go pop up and put a big old wick back down to the downside. Come on. So now we finally filled in the entire 15-minute fair value gap with that wick. And we got to rip back down and take out any liquidity down below, probably to this volume imbalance. Am I at that volume imbalance? That's at 41. Maybe I should kill the trade again and try to get in there. I'm just going to leave it. I'm tired of this in and out business. I hope I'm up at least $200 on the day. Let's see. I haven't even looked. Yeah, I'm up $200. Look at this thing, man. It's really bouncing. Something bad's about to happen. They're gonna take my $200. Oh no, don't do it. Don't take my $200. There's that volume imbalance I talked about. Here's another one. Not too worried yet. If we stay above the halfway point, I won't be worried at all. And we did so far, but we did fall below the halfway point of this. That's price action 101 right there. This is the more important PD array. This doesn't really mean that much. But usually when we get above the halfway point, we continue up. That's an indication that we're in high resistance. And I suppose you could get in and out, in and out, in and out like I've been doing. Probably be more profitable in the long run if you just held your original. Can we get back above it? We need to stay above this line with candle bodies. Wicks are fine. Beautiful. Oh, this high resistance. So we didn't even poke the 50% there. We didn't get above it. That's showing me more downside. Come on. We got to be getting back to settlement at some point. Why would we go all this way and not go to settlement? Can we rip there? Can we do one long candle, please? Jeez. I don't know if I want to endure another one of these pullbacks. Just go. I mean, it's getting frustrating to see it go up and then straight back down and up and straight back down. I don't like it. And look at it, back below the 50%. We have actually a new high candle now, so we can put it there and mark it's 50%. This is the one I'm most concerned with, is that 50% mark. We poked 50, pulled straight back to 40. The morning time, you don't have to deal with all this so much. Sometimes you do, but you see more directional moves in the morning. The resistance is not quite as severe. I mean, we are still going up, but it's a slow grind up, and it's painful to watch. I should just be entering, wicking, just go to the wick, enter a new one, go to the wick, enter a new one, and just take my profit at the top of each wick. I'll probably make more money doing that, but it usually doesn't work out when I do that. We poked 50. We're probably going back to 20. Look at that. We're below the 50% of this thing now. If this candle finishes below it, I got to kill this trade. May not have an option. It may just rip down there and take me out. It definitely looks like it's finishing below it. Oh, this price action sucks. It finished below. I got to kill it. Even though it's probably going to go my way. Get me in the green at least. Nope. What a piece of trash price action we're seeing here. Nothing is holding. Nothing. And now I'm down below $200 again. Are we going back to settlement? Abso-freaking-lutely we are. Are we going to come all the way back down to round number before we go? Maybe. It's sure looking like it. So now we have a breaker. Said breaker is trying to validate. It's right there. This has been filled in. It's no longer needed. This was violated. It's no longer needed. We never even poked up to the halfway percent. But good Lord. I think I may just quit for the day. So an attempt to violate the breaker, we did have a candle body close below, but no fair value gap. Can we get a fair value gap? They're gearing up for power hour. It's going up there. It's Jiminy Christmas. I can't believe I'm torturing myself through all this trash. Can't believe I'm not up $500 either. We should run down into one of these fair value gaps here. We are, we haven't validated the breaker yet. We may just take this low, but this should get taken. It's an intraday. It's not a 4 hour, so it's not one that you can hang your hat on for going all the way back to down to the lows. But for a quick little 20-point grab, it'd be all right. This might end up being a fair value gap here. Right now it's formed, but this candle's going to have to push lower. Yeah, So it did leave a fair value gap here to the downside, right here. And as long as it's respected, then you can expect that next level of lows to be taken. You won't know if it's respected until after this candle body finishes. Do I think we're going to offer all the way back down to the low of the day? No, I do not. But we may offer down to this low or one of these fair value gaps. Or we may invalidate it right here and continue higher, which is what I want to see. All right, we're going to try it again. We'll try it at that fair value gap. How about it? Oh, 36. We'll try it right there at 36. See if we can get filled. Halfway point of that green candle. Come on, fill me now. There we go. Okay, now go back up. You rat feet. All right, I'm about to get angry and move my stop a million miles away. Why would we fill in that fair value gap and then offer lower? I don't know why we would do it, but I know I got to kill this position. Now I'm to the point where we got to invalidate this guy or can't go long again, and then we'll only be 8 points away from settlement. So pretty much I'm at 122 now. Chopping up the profit. I really haven't made much profit today. Chopping up what I did make. I don't know what to say, folks. I feel like now I'm in no man's territory. There's not enough profit above. We're in the upper half. 3014 is the halfway point right here. I think at this point, that in this time of day, I would be willing to get involved somewhere around here for another long. But I don't even know that I would get involved in one of these fair value gaps. I'm really feeling like I just need to shut it down for the day. My max profit on the day was only 359. I'm at 122. I've already lost over half of it trying to get back into this move. And I don't want to end the day in the red. One more trade will do that. And so I think I'm going to call it. I appreciate y'all watching.